comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me, as always, is Ben Slinger.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going, Trevor? What are we doing? We are going to continue with our What Three Words prompts.
Awesome.
This week. So those of you who have listened before might know about this one, or you might have missed all those episodes where we've used these prompts because we often use different prompts. But in this case, we are using what3words.com, which essentially gives us 3 words based on a latitude and longitude, which is randomly picked across the world. And we will turn those into game designs, video game designs.
Awesome.
So, Trevor, what 3 words?
Rollercoaster, providing, systematic.
Okay. So we did automation games last week, or we at least did one. So I'm just sort of trying to move away from that for this one.
Yeah.
But a systematic roller coaster providing something, like the systems around a roller coaster, still appeal to me to some degree. So maybe it's more of a world building sort of thing rather than the main gameplay being like building these roller coasters. Maybe this is a world where just roller coasters are used as transit.
With loops and shit.
With loops and stuff. You can like switch between tracks like at intersections and things onto different roller coasters but you can't slow down.
Yep, but you can like you sit down, you got your briefcase and you put that into the little briefcase compartment that locks in, you pull down
your thing, your safety,
your safety harness. Get that all locked into place. And then you're holding on for dear life and, this is how you get to work.
For work.
Like, corkscrew.
It's like, shit, I'm gonna have to take the express, which is like all the corkscrews and like more intense. It's the express because it goes up super high first and then just barrels all the way down and just
it's a 20-minute like rise, but then the next
but then it's right at the bottom. At the bottom of it just goes off in like 20 different directions that are these like individual
pods? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is what Elon Musk should have tried to build for public transit, not this bullshit hyperloop that just drives Teslas through it.
No, see, what he should have actually built is hypertubes, because hypertubes is just amazing.
I mean, or he could have built roller coasters or maybe the roller coasters should go through tubes. Okay,
so a roller coaster as transit, I love.
Yeah.
So you got timetables then, like you know that you got to have the timetable for when something is going to go off on a different.
If they're individual pods, then I feel like it's more. You've got little bays where hopefully there are free pods there.
Or sometimes you can share with someone else, like you're both going to this
can
place.
The pool. Yeah. Pod pool. Is this just then the background for a narrative?
Probably, yeah.
And are there other like theme park related
jobs,
related things, or
I do like the idea of this whole city, all its economy is based off of theme parks, like
right. Well, okay, but I think if we're continuing with this, like it's all theme park stuff, but none of it's for fun. None of it's for the thrill of riding. It's just
your job is to pack those show bags, like
right. You're a show bag packer.
Yep.
You work in a haunted house with and when you go to the bathroom, you have to go through a hall of mirrors.
Exactly.
It's just everything's built as theme parks.
None of it is fun. It is all.
No.
It is.
This is business. This is serious business.
Serious business.
Yeah. It's how the economy runs.
Yeah. And, I like the idea that, your whole thing is that you got to go get, talk to suppliers and that sort of stuff and get all this stuff, real menial, boring stuff.
I love the idea that just anything you buy then, it comes in show bags. It's not like that's actually a huge part of the economy too. It's like you need groceries. You have to go and buy a groceries show bag, which gets you, claims to be $100 worth of value for $25 of show bag.
Exactly. And that's just the bread bag. You got to then buy the milk bag that goes with that. Yeah. And
they don't they come with like, 3 2-liter bottles of milk, but then it also comes with like a stupid little shaker toy that's got the milk logo on it. It comes with some stickers, some lollies, most of the stuff that you don't actually want. It's actually really inconvenient.
Yeah.
Every time you buy this stuff.
The worst one is actually the fruit and veggie bag, because you do actually have to buy, like, the fruit and veggie bag literally comes with a fruit and a veggie, but it's randomly selected.
Yeah.
So if you want, 13 potatoes, you got to buy 13 show bags and hope
you get potatoes. Absolutely. Because I'm just picturing people coming home from the shops, I guess, on the roller coasters. Or, maybe they took the log flume if they were able to risk getting their stuff wet. But just carrying, handfuls of show bags, all these different types of show bags just to get what they wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, so then who's our character? Like, what is happening in this world that is worth making a game about at this point?
I think that we've got the son of the original, like, mayor of the town.
Okay. It's just this town?
Yeah, it's city. Yeah. Mayor of the city.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think of what exactly it could be called, like
the town.
Or the city.
The city.
I was thinking of Theme Parkville, which made me think, Parkville could be,
Right, but then that's just a place. I mean, which is fine. Well, I guess, is it sponsored by it? Like, is it a branded park slash city? Is this like Warner Brothers movie city? Or whatever. It's like the MCU, the Marvel City Universe. slash theme park. I kind of like keeping it more generic.
Yeah.
So it's Mayor Birdie Beetle.
Yeah.
And you're his son,
Terrence Beetle.
Terrence Beetle. Because only the father gets to have an alliterative name.
Yeah. Or your character actually changed his name by default because he didn't actually like his original name.
Right, which was
Birdie Jr.
Oh, just Birdie Beetle Jr. Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to be.
No, I don't want to be associated with my ridiculous father who turned a city into a theme park, even though the economy is booming.
Yeah, so he even, changed the way that you spell his last name. Like, he's changed it to be the same spelling as that famous band.
Right. Yeah, the Monkees.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But it's still pronounced Beetle.
Okay, so are you kind of like trying to change things in this city? Are you realizing that, like, this is a ridiculously inefficient way to run a city, and even though it seems like it would be fun to live in a theme park all the time,
it's really
everyone's actually miserable. You sort of trying to bring it down from the inside or something. You got like
I'm trying to wonder whether, like, Bertie Beetle actually gets killed in the first act.
Ooh, okay.
Gets assassinated.
Yep.
And then, you're being tasked with to take over.
There.
Like, but you don't want to because
you're finding out all this stuff about the city and the underbelly, the seedy underbelly that happens in the service tunnels and the broken rides. Are there just fucking mascots everywhere? Are there people in giant foam suits? Like, what is that job? Like, do you have to, when you work at a shop or something, you have to, like, if you're a customer service role, you have to wear a stupid mascot suit?
Yeah, you've at least got to wear a mask. You've at least got to wear a mask.
At the very least, a mask. You have to be in character. It's like Disney cast members or whatever. You can't break character, but it's just like every fucking menial job. You get in your roller coaster pod, scream your way to work, hope you don't throw up when you get there.
And
Put on your mask in the back room and then come out and have to plaster on a
it's not even putting it on in the back room. You've got to get into the secret tunnels behind all the shops.
Right.
So you'll go to work. Everyone enters the building at the same time, then disseminates out and enters through their shops.
Yeah,
into
and
their
then
shops,
no one who works together actually knows who anyone is because you're all masked up. And,
because you're all masked up and all that sort of
stuff. And it's just more, realistic that way. The keeps the magic.
Really does. Hey, Ben, what 3 words?
Closes, wound, birders. So I think a birder is someone who, like, bird watches, right?
Yeah.
So definitely like a bird watching trip gone wrong.
Ooh.
Like a dark kind of comedy. Like a fucking game of Fiasco, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're out there in your bird watching group and some shit goes down to the point that someone is mortally wounded and everyone's trying to, figure out what happened or who did it or save themselves or whatever. So, maybe this is like a Pokemon Snap-esque game. Starts like that. I like the idea of it just being a relatively mundane bird watching kind of game. You've got your characters, like you as you're looking for birds, your partner will whisper, whoever you is looking with you will kind of whisper to you, and you'd have a little conversation back and forth, and you talk about the birds and stuff, and then maybe through your binoculars you like see some shit go down.
Yeah.
Someone in your group gets stabbed or...
For some reason, my brain went to, you see 2 ravens and they're dealing crack. Like...
Right, so it's not... Okay, so you as a bird watcher, it's not just that you're looking for birds and stuff in your group happens. It's that you find out that birds are actually plotting things like... You're finding the secret life of these birds. That's actually kind of fun. I like... Because that's actually got an interesting arc to it then, right? Like it starts off as just, okay, you're just looking for birds, particular types of birds. They're flapping around on the branches or whatever. And you go to a particular location that's like, oh, I think I saw that bird, in the hollow of that tree. Zoom in a bit further, turn on your night vision or whatever, and they're like cooking meth. Or whatever, or like it's a fucking peacock brothel or something. I don't know. It's like it's the underbelly of the seedy underbelly of the bird world.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you're like discovering more of this, that's when something happens and one of your people is attacked by, a raven or something.
Okay. I'm going to jump towards the end. The whole thing that goes down is you exit your house and there's just birds everywhere, a la...
Very Hitchcockian,
Hitchcock, the birds.
Yep.
And literally the end of the game is like that start scene of it's just a parallel story as to this is actually what caused the birds to go crazy and turn on all the humans.
It's actually a direct tie-in.
It's a direct tie-in. It just so happens that there's a seedy underbelly of
Yeah, this is the final thing. Like you found out, you figured it out, you unveiled the murderous bird who happened to be, a kingpin in their society, and then this is them like shutting you down.
Yeah.
They sent all their
but not just you,
minions.
But it's anyone else who had any contact with you. And I think early on in the game you can have like that like the teacher sort of bump into you and, you get some of like the teacher from the movie The Birds.
I haven't even seen it. I know the scene, but.
Basically, you can have like a little bit of connection between, different characters, from Hitchcock's The Birds that you didn't really realize.
I mean, I don't even know. You can tie it in. I kind of like the idea that it's more just that it is tied in, but in the fact that like this shit is what goes down. This is what happens.
Yeah.
Implying then that, whatever happened in The Birds, like that there was a reason for it. It was actually that the mob birds got pissed off and sent all their henchmen.
Yeah. So one of the things that I was thinking about because of this idea is absolutely brilliant is that essentially the birds have been supplying drugs to, like the neighboring towns and all that sort of stuff.
To the birds or the humans in those towns?
The birds, but to the humans.
To the humans, yeah.
Through like different schemes that they managed to get it out so that they basically hid who was supplying, through shell companies and all this sort of stuff. But essentially they've got a huge.
I love the idea of like, you're on a stakeout because I feel like so much of this game takes place looking through binoculars. At the first, just as you're discovering all of this, and then later as you're trying to like unravel it all, you're watching a drug deal go down in a back alley. You see like a shady dude in a coat and a hat. Someone comes up, buys drugs from him, leaves the alley, and then just a flock of birds flies out of the coat. Yeah. The coat falls to the ground.
Yeah. You see a limousine just sitting there, and you haven't seen anyone get in or out of it. But when you switch on that night vision mode, you see a raven just sitting on top of the steering wheel.
Steering wheel. Yep.
And there's like, that it can't hit the pedals, but somehow those pedals have been hit. Like there's more birds in there than what you think. Like, there's just so many cool places that you could go with this.
Well, you just start noticing birds on the shoulders of like all the politicians, and not necessarily on their shoulders. That might be a bit obvious, but just like hanging out behind them, very ominously.
The latest Prime Minister of Australia, because this is set in
yeah, why not?
Like, I don't know. I can't remember where the original Birds movie was set. Like, so
probably not Australia, but
That's
fine.
I don't give a shit. That's how loose we are with this podcast.
I don't think we need to be beholden to the throwaway idea that it ties into the movie The Birds.
To the movie The Birds. It's just a worldwide.
They have mobs. They have organised crime birds there too.
Yeah. So the latest Prime Minister, he's doing a speech, and you see right beside him like a parrot in a cage. And
I nearly said an emu. Since we're going to Australia, like we have some pretty big birds.
It's a kookaburra.
Like a pelican.
It's just laughing. It's a kookaburra that's just laughing.
I think the kingpin's definitely like a kookaburra. Yeah. A lot of their henchmen and stuff are magpies because they're definitely doing the dirty work. Emus are good for, they're like your messengers. They're fast runners.
I mean, you've got the cassowary as well, which is that's a big ass frickin' bird.
Oh yeah. Cassowaries and emus working together, I think.
Oh, I'm imagining that the cassowaries are literally like the henchmen, like, because they're the ones that'll really fuck you up. They're literally the heaviest bird in Australia.
Yeah, they're like the assassins.
Yeah.
I definitely want a scene where you're like driving away from like multiple cassowaries and they're slamming the side of your car.
A la, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically the closest thing to like birds that are still dinosaurs.
Yeah. Cool.
It.
Hey, Ben.
No. Trevor.
No.
What 3 words? No. Your turn.
My turn.
Give me some words.
Creamier lactose anymore.
Creamier?
Creamier
lactose anymore.
Any more creamier lactose?
Could this lactose be any more creamier? I just went into Chandler Bing for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Milk and cream based gameplay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what comes to mind is that lactose actually causes problems for a lot of people. So the idea of, I find, a good milk that has lactose in it usually is quite creamy compared to if you take out that lactose, it loses some of the creaminess.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a scientist who's looking into how can we make milk more creamy while removing lactose.
While still removing the lactose to work for lactose intolerant people. Okay. Are they going about this through genetically engineering different mammals to see which will produce creamy lactose-free milk?
Yeah. Ooh.
Giraffe milk just happens to be the exact
creamiest.
right consistency.
But people don't like the taste because it's like, yes, it's creamy, but it's also
like leafy. It's very kind of, yeah.
Doesn't have the same.
And so is that what he's trying to engineer out?
He's realizing that lactose really adds to the flavor.
So he's done all his work to try to make this lactose-free milk to just realize, actually, we do need lactose. So maybe we can just work on lactose not, causing problems for people. And so he lets all the giraffes go free.
I'm going to click again because that's a piece of shit. And that one is going to get completely launched into the stratosphere.
Yeah, sure.
It never happened.
I like the idea of just a free giraffes out into the city.
Ooh.
Trevor, what 3 words?
Resurrected. Receptor. Billionth.
Ooh, okay. It definitely feels like some sort of neurology thing, perhaps, or like I'm thinking receptors in the brain, especially with billions of them.
Which is essentially resurrecting people, and we don't know why.
Ooh, or it's like neural network, like technology, like AI. When we finally get to the point where we can add that billionth receptor in the virtual brain, we realize that we can now, like resurrect people by reading their brainwaves at death or whatever.
A la Upload.
Yeah, I mean, a la many sci-fi sorts of ideas, but... Or, I mean, well, with Resurrection, I wonder then, do we discover that they don't have to be alive for us to get their last, like, imprint? It's actually physically there as long as we can get a part of their brain, maybe? Obviously, it's not going to be that many brains are intact that long after death, I suppose.
They turn into goop within, sort of 2-3 weeks. So you've got
yeah,
like
but as
2
long as you
weeks.
get a spoonful of the goop, you can like recreate their final brain state, at least to like 95% accuracy. So they might be a bit homicidal when they are resurrected, but they're in the computer, so it's okay. I don't know. I feel like there's something interesting there for like this technology that allows you to, after someone has died, bring them back as a virtual person, a virtual consciousness. But they're not quite right.
There's something about like all these people that got their selves frozen and all this sort of stuff. I kind of like the idea that it's like, oh, we found out that no, you have to have actually been alive when we took the brain scan. The fact that we cut off their head means that like we couldn't save them.
I mean, I just like that is this. I think that's sort of the standard way that it's often done. I just was with the resurrection idea. I feel like having an option there for like maybe this wasn't it. Maybe there is an established technology, kind of like Upload, where yes, if you read it while they're alive, you get a perfect replication of their consciousness. Mm-hmm. But this is now like someone who is pirating the technology. Because
and they're like,
they're doing these,
it's 95 to 99% accurate, depending on how
like,
long.
They've got a new thing that like allows them to essentially kind of break down the physical neurons and extrapolate from any piece of brain matter what the actual consciousness would have looked like. Because there's some, I don't know, you fucking techno-babble out of it, right? Like brains, it turns out brains are fractals, and so any part of the brain you can extrapolate what the whole brain was like.
And yes, the consciousness is actually just, it's an aura.
It lives in the cracks of the fractal.
Yeah.
So as long as you can recreate that fractal, you get the consciousness.
You only need one cell of the brain to survive.
That's it.
Yeah.
But then I do like, it's almost a pet cemetery kind of thing then of...
Sometimes dead is better.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I could see this playing out with like, it is a world where there's just all screens everywhere or that have people's faces on them, because these are the people who have, successfully transferred. But then, yeah, you start finding out about this underground technology and you start coming across people who are a bit glitchy on their screens, or they, things change. And I kind of like the idea of just interacting with regular people and then just like virtual people, and it's part of life. But yeah, there's this sinister kind of thing that starts building.
For those who, have heard this word fractal and want to know a little bit more about it, I recommend looking into some of the Mandelbrot fractal zooms that people have worked out, because they are just gorgeous things. And that's
fractals are cool ideas. I watched a TikTok the other day of someone talking about this. I can't remember what the term was, but demonstrating sort of one of the ways that fractals come about and this particular feature of mathematics, essentially. And they got so fucking excited just talking about it. It was really cool to see that they were just so enamored by this mathematical principle. Yeah. It was really nice.
It is so cool. Ben, what 3 words?
Databanks, eclairs, clan.
Ooh, yes. I'm imagining a world in which databanks are all data is stored with chocolate eclairs. Because it turns out that it's cheaper than crypto. To store all the data.
This is Web 4. Eclair
Web 4.0. Eclair based. Yeah.
Technology. Okay.
And obviously the different flavoring of the cream filling determines, what sort of data is in there.
I'm just picturing all these fucking eclairs with electrodes or something poked into each side of the cream. And that they're essentially used as some sort of storage mechanism. They're used as transistors basically in these massive
the craziest
warehouses.
Thing is they need to keep this microbe free and bacteria free, because otherwise
they've got huge eclair data centers, databanks.
Yeah, otherwise the eclairs, they start to break down because the bacteria attacks them.
Yeah.
These are when they bake these eclairs, they are baked in, effectively like a vacuum. Yeah. There is nothing that can survive in there.
I mean, it's like the way they make silicon, microchips and stuff now, right? Like CPUs and things, clean rooms and.
Yeah. So basically that's the reason, why these things can survive for millennia. It turns out that because it is so processed.
It's called the Twinkie Protocol.
Yeah. It's the Twinkie Protocol. Because they are so processed, no bacteria even really wants to touch it anyway.
As long as they're kept out of, the sun, and the temperature is controlled, and no bacteria, or too much moisture or whatever can get in there, then yes, they'll effectively last forever.
Yeah.
And it just turns out that they have the perfect data density.
Yes. Oh, they really
store things very securely.
I mean, that cream is a perfect lattice that can actually hold so much data in it. In fact, the eclair part isn't actually really required.
Functional as such. It's the cream.
No, it's the cream.
Yeah.
So it just so happens that
the chocolate coating does help with the temperature control within the cream and that sort of thing.
Otherwise, it can get very, very hot, but that chocolate will actually keep it nice and cool at that refrigerated temperature.
Yeah. And so then you play,
and the fact that it's like a choux pastry compared to a different. It's got those air pockets, and it helps keep all the data safe.
Yeah, totally.
So anyway, you play
a rat.
Kevin. No. You play Kevin. He's a security guard. And accidentally, he fell asleep at his desk.
Okay.
And someone broke in and
ate all the eclairs. Took a sample.
Took a sample.
Just licked the cream off of one.
The problem was
order history of someone's Shopify store.
Well, I'm thinking that it was actually something really, really secret, because it was something from the Pentagon or something like that.
Right.
And so therefore you've got Secret Service agents who are coming around trying to trying to figure out what actually happened, and you've got to, concoct the story and
So you're just trying to cover your own ass?
yeah, covering your own ass.
So so this is just the backdrop to a very conversation tree based game of
Not very conversation tree based. Like you're still trying to figure out who actually did this as well. Like, you're kind of Kevin, the security guard, and this place's greatest detective. Like, you're not. It's the origin of Batman. If Batman worked in an ecclair data center.
They call me the Baker. I don't know.
His surname's Baker. Kevin Baker.
Kevin Baker, right. Yeah. That's why they hired him. They mistakenly thought it was a profession.
It was Kevin Bacon, yeah. Well,
no, the bacon-based... So it turns out that bacon is actually really good for, like, computing power.
Yep.
The eclairs work for storage, but the bacon is your compute power, so that's where Kevin Bacon works.
Yeah.
Whereas Kevin Baker works with the eclairs.
That makes sense. That really does.
It makes perfect sense.
It makes 100% sense. The thing is, like, Kevin Baker is actually the only person on the planet that is 8 degrees of separation away from Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, it's remarkable. It's remarkable. The game never tells you this. It's just something that we as the developers know. It's just a little, like, we use it as a bit of a touchstone, bit of a mantra as we're developing the character.
And we have to be very careful who he's allowed to talk to. Because if he talks to someone...
You have to keep that 8 degrees of separation. You can only talk to other 7s. Okay, now we're in a world where everybody is ranked by their Kevin Bacon number. You have to have it marked on you at all times. Because then you can calculate, like, if you're a 7 and you talk to a 5, then now you're a 6.
Thing is, even though you talk to someone, it's only what they were at the time that you talk to them. So it's not like...
Oh, yeah, no, you can't... Yeah, it's sort of a cumulative effect or a time over time.
If I knew you and then you happened to go across... just because you went across to LA to, the podcast movement or whatever, and you saw Brennan Lee Mulligan, like,
right.
It doesn't mean that, if you talk to him and
I assume he's a 2. He must have met Kevin Bacon, surely.
But if he hadn't met Kevin Bacon at the time,
I guess a 2 would be, because Kevin Bacon himself is a 0.
Yes.
Because he's no degrees of separation from himself. So a 1 is his immediate. Yeah. But that's all right.
So, say he was a 2 when you first met Brennan Lee Mulligan, and then you talk to him, he talked to Kevin afterwards, your number doesn't go up.
No, it doesn't make me a 2 then.
No.
Because he would have become a 1.
Because you're still a 3. If you talk to him again, then yes, it's only the number that it was at the time.
This is a completely different game, but I'm liking where we're at. I love the idea, though, that this is one of these situations where this number is somehow encoded on us automatically.
At a genetic level.
It's encoded in our body chemistry in some way.
And
to the point that it shows up on your skin.
That is literally how they found out about the ladder structure of the cream. Like they looked into our genetic code and then they got the closest thing to that.
I love the idea that they don't know initially what this number means. Everyone has this genetic, and their DNA literally changes when they meet someone with a different number. But nobody realizes what it is until they track down the 1s, the 2s and the 1s, and then finally find Kevin Bacon and that he has a 0.
Okay. In this world, Kevin Bacon isn't a celebrity, but it's still, all traces back to him. It's a different Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
It's the same one, just in that universe where he never became an actor. But it's still everyone's
the idea that there's another Kevin Bacon out there and that's actually the real Bacon number. Kevin Bacon, the actor, is like a 4.
In this universe, yeah. Okay, that's all we have time for.
I don't know, there's no game there, but that's funny. Yeah, I think that's what we did. That's it. That's the show. So if you want to find our previous episodes, you can go to podchaser.com/bitstorm. Check them out. We're coming up on 300. I don't know what's going to happen at 300. We haven't decided yet. Are we going to do something big? I don't know. Is it just going to be another episode?
Are we going to do a McElroy's and just skip it for a while?
Are we just going to skip 300? Maybe.
It's certainly on the cards. Like to just skip it.
Everything's on the cards. It's all up in the air. It's all possible. But check out our previous episodes there and shoot us a review. Let us know what you thought.
If you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, that is the song Matt defines. The album Containment Failure by the band Kuradust. You can find it at kuradust.bandcamp.com.
That's right. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
And, oh shit, Trevor, there's a bird at your window. It's a magpie.
Shit, they sound so awesome, but they're so angry. Oh.